In this video, we will be showing how to set up guidance on a GS3 2630 using the documentation feature. The process is almost identical for a 2600 display. To begin with, no matter what page you are currently on in your display, you can always return to the main menu by clicking the main menu button in the very bottom right of the display. From here, press the GS3 tab. As we don't know where you exited this menu last, go to the top right corner and hit GS3 again. This brings you to the setup page, where we can see a series of checkboxes. Here you tell the display what functions you require and it automatically determines which pages to navigate through. We want to do guidance, so you select guidance. We are then asked if we wish to include resources. We do, because we are intending on using documentation. The resources, machine, and implement checkboxes should check automatically. Also check documentation. Down the bottom, we see the accept button and a red asterisk, which tells us to complete all fields with a red asterisk. Hit accept. This brings you to page 1 of 7. Here we fill out the client, farm, and field information. It is important to put in something in each of these boxes with an asterisk. The info can be selected from a drop-down menu if previously inputted. Or, if this is your first time documenting, you'll need to select New from each drop-down menu and type in the info. When the field name is entered or selected, the display will take a moment to process data. For task, it is important that you select the correct task. If you don't wish to use documentation, select Documentation Off. Otherwise, select the option most suited. Alternatively, you can select New and type in your choice. We will select Seeding. Make sure that you have the correct crop season selected, as this will affect how your data is filtered through Apex. Field Locator can be on or off. We will leave it on. Hit F to get to page 2 of 7. On the machine page, we select Machine Type. We are using a tractor. Machine model is a 9R. Machine name is a 9560R. Again, all these options, if not available in the drop-down menu, can be input manually by selecting New. A diagram of the machine and its dimensions are visible on the right-hand side. To adjust, hit Change Offsets. Each dimension is given a letter. The description of each letter is explained below. Pay particular attention to A, the lateral distance of GPS receiver from center line of machine. In most machines this will be 0, but if you input it incorrectly, your AutoTrack will not track correctly. We also have to specify the non-steering location. In the case of a four-wheel drive tractor, it is the front axle, and vice versa for a front wheel assist. Hit Accept. Below where you see recording source, you select what will trigger the recording or map painting process. In a lot of instances, this will be grayed out with Auto in the box, meaning there's some kind of height sensor and the machine already knows what the recording source is. If this is not the case, you can set up to trigger the recording source manually with the hand-shaped icon or using one of your SCVs. This method is most common when disking. Ensure you have some memory available below, as documentation needs recording space. You can see on the right that we are on page 2 of 7. Press F to get to page 3 of 7. On this page, we will tell the display what kind of implement we are using. In this instance, we can pick the Cedar model from a drop-down menu. We tell the display that the implement model is an 1870 and the implement name is 1870 56 foot. This will be pre-populated in some displays and can be picked from a list. Alternatively, hit New to add a name or model if it is not available. Again, on the right we have the implement dimensions. These can be changed by using the Change Offset button. Each dimension is given a letter. The description of each letter is explained below. Pay particular attention to C, as it is the offset of the implement to the left or right. The offset can be put to the left or right by using the toggle tab at the top of the page. Hit Accept when you're happy with your dimensions. On the bottom of the screen, we can change our implement width and track spacing. Hit Change Width. We know that it is a 56-foot implement, but we'll put in the track spacing at 55 feet to compensate for GPS drift using SF1 signal. Physical width is not important in this instance, but we will input it at 56 foot. Hit accept. Move to page 4 of 7. This is the first of our documentation pages. Make 100% certain that the operation outlined at the top is exactly correct and that there are no additional operations named. Then begin filling in the information in order. Select the seed type, add variety by naming brand, variety and color, and hitting accept. Move to page 5 of 7. Here we select the tracking mode. We will mostly be using straight track. Acknowledge the warning by hitting F. There is no implement guiding being used. Move to page 6 of 7. Turn on small shifts. These allow us to move our line left or right a specified distance. Input the desired increment, in this case 1 inch. Large shifts are also available but are less useful for our applications. Move to page 7 of 7. Here we set the guidance line. Notice there are no GPS lines visible. Hit Set Track 0. Select the track name or input a new one. Select the method. A+B or A+Heading is available. For A+B we set A, drive 30 feet and set B. For A+Heading we set A and input a desired heading. Example, 0 degrees for north-south or 90 degrees for east-west. Track spacing can also be changed here. Hit accept. You can now see guidance lines. We now also have 2 pieces of pie. You need 4 pieces of pie to auto track. To get the third piece, we hit the steer on-off button. To get the final piece of pie, start driving and hit your resume button in your cab. Watch the pie turn green. Setup is now complete. Hit F and accept. I can check everything is working by going back to my guidance page. If I want to bump the line to the left, I use left shift. If I want to bump to the right, I use right shift. This moves 1 inch at a time. I can recenter the line using the center button. To see if you are correctly set up to document, go to the Diagnostics tab, and in the View window, select Recording and inspect the Operations Properly Defined section. Here you will see what operation the display thinks you are doing. In this case, we are set up to document canola. Planting and seeding is disabled. If we enable planting or seeding, we must make sure to fill in all the information. On the Diagnostics page, a yes or disabled won't stop the documentation process, but a no will. In the event of a no, go to the Document tab. Here you can disable or enable. Remove or modify your documentation info to turn a no into a yes or a disabled. Watch now as we enable planting or seeding and don't input seed info, and then go back to the Diagnostics. We now have a no. This means our recording will not work. Disable planting or seeding. The next thing to confirm is that our mapping is set up properly. Hit the Mapping tab and go to Map Settings at the bottom. Make sure that foreground is set to coverage only. This means that the display will paint everywhere you have worked or seeded your field. Hit Accept. Now as you lower your implement, you should see a coverage mapping painted behind your implement on the guidance screen. As we are only using a simulator, we cannot fully show this on the video. This concludes the 2630 guidance with documentation video.